How does it feel to die? You watch the person you love take their last breath. You feel yourself go right after them. Then you wake up, and they are standing right in front of you, alive, smiling, completely unaware. This is not a horror story. This is ReZero. Subaru Natsuki has saved the people he loves more times than they will ever know. He has died for them more times than he can count, and not one of them will ever know it happened. That is his tragedy. Like and subscribe, and let's get started. Subaru Natsuki was already invisible, a social recluse, someone who had, by his own admission, opted out of school, out of people, out of the ordinary rhythm of becoming someone. He lived in his room. He withdrew from the world, and the world, for the most part, did not notice. So when Subaru lands in Lugunica, confused, broke, with no map and no plan, and he realizes what has happened to him, his reaction is not terror. It is something much more revealing than that. It is relief. He has watched enough anime, played enough games. He knows what this moment means, that he has been chosen, that the universe has looked at him specifically and decided he was worth something, that after years of being no one, he is finally, undeniably, the protagonist. And so he throws himself into it. He helps Amelia the moment he meets her, with a kind of fearless enthusiasm that reads, at first glance, as pure generosity. He inserts himself into situations where no one asked for him. He is warm and funny and relentless and genuinely, deeply good. What Subaru wants is not complicated. It is, in fact, one of the most human wants there is. He wants to matter. He wants to be the reason things turned out okay. He wants to be the person that someone points to after the danger has passed and the dust has settled and says, he saved us. He was the one. This comes directly from the boy he was before. Someone who had no proof that he mattered in his own world. Someone who had withdrawn so completely that the absence of proof had started to feel like evidence. In this new world, he believes that he will sacrifice, he will be brave, he will do the heroic thing every time, no matter the cost. And in return, he will be a hero. Subaru can return by death. It sounds useful, but it's not power. It is a prison with a revolving door. Every time Subaru dies, he feels it. The fear that comes before, the pain of the moment itself, the specific and personal horror of whatever killed him this time. And then he wakes up at a checkpoint, alone, heart pounding, and the world has reset. The people around him are alive and well and have no memory of what just happened. No memory that anything went wrong at all. He is the only one who remembers. He is the only one who carries it. He is, in the most literal sense, the sole witness to his own suffering, and there is nowhere to put it down. In the mansion, Subaru dies trying to save Rem and Ram from a killer he cannot identify. He gets it wrong. He wakes up. He tries again. He gets it wrong differently. He wakes up again. Each attempt costs him something real. Not just the death itself, but the accumulation, the weight of trying and failing in ways that only he will ever know about. By the time he finally figures it out, by the time he finally finds the right sequence of actions that gets everyone out alive, he is not the same person who walked into that first loop. But Rem and Ram don't know that. They are alive and well and grateful. And from where they are standing, he simply showed up and helped. From where he is standing, he has been dying for them across an experience that feels like weeks. The gap between those two perspectives is not small. It is enormous. It is the size of a tragedy. Think about the last time you did something hard for someone you love, something that cost you time, energy, pain, pride, something they never fully saw. Did it still matter? Most of us would say yes. Of course it mattered. You did it because you loved them. But now ask yourself, honestly, how long could you keep doing it? How many times could you bleed for someone in silence? It happens again with Amelia. He watches her die in loops he cannot stop in time. He carries the image of it, the specific, horrible image, and then he resets, and she is standing in front of him, alive, smiling, and she has absolutely no idea that he just watched her die. She thanks him for the things she can see, the small things, the surface things, and he accepts it, because what else can he do? He is thanking him for the tip of the iceberg. He is carrying the entire ocean. This is what his heroism looks like from the inside. Not glory, not recognition, just an endless accumulation of costs that disappear from the world's record the moment they are paid, but never from his. And then there is Rem. Rem is the first person who actually looks at him. Not at the performance, not at the cheerful, energetic, relentlessly helpful exterior he maintains, because it is the only version of himself he knows how to present. She looks past that, or rather, she looks at it so carefully that she starts to see the shape of what is underneath it. The fear, the exhaustion, The person who keeps going not because he is fearless, but because stopping would mean sitting alone with everything he is carrying, and he cannot do that. She sees him, and in the scene where she tells him, clearly, fully, without flinching, exactly who she sees, the ugly parts and the brave parts together, she gives him something is that no loop, no sacrifice, no act of heroism had ever given him before. She gives him a witness. He cannot know about the loops. He cannot know about the deaths, or the weight, or the specific texture of what return by death does to a person over time. But she knows the shape of someone who has been through something enormous and is carrying it alone. And she chooses, with full knowledge of the difficult and frightening parts of him, to stay. And it gives him the strength to continue. Then, just like that, she is gone, erased from the world's memory by the witch cult. It is not simply a plot event. It is the removal of the only person who had seen him clearly. Subaru tried to fix it by any means possible. He tried to unalive himself, but it changed nothing. Rem is gone in a way his ability cannot reach. He loses Rem twice. He loses her to the erasure, to whatever the witch cult did to take her, and then he loses her again in the silence that follows, because there is no one to grieve with. No one remembers her. No one knows to mourn. He is alone with the loss the way he has always been alone with everything, completely, structurally, with no exit. Do you know what it feels like to give everything you have to the people you love and wonder whether the version of you that is exhausted and scared and holding things together entirely alone, whether that person is seen by anyone at all? Subaru just has the misfortune of living that feeling on a loop. Subaru Natsuki has died more times than he can count, for people who will never know he died. He has watched the people he loves killed in loops they will never remember. He has carried grief that has no funeral, and trauma that has no language, and a heroism that exists in full, completely, undeniably, in a record that only he can read. By any honest measure, he is one of the most heroic figures in the genre, not because he is the strongest, or the most powerful, or the most gifted, but because he keeps going. He dies and comes back and tries again and again, not for glory. Glory is structurally impossible, but because there are people he loves, and he will not stop until they are safe. That is what heroism actually is, stripped of the recognition and the applause and the moment where everyone looks at you and finally understands what you did. And the world will never know. If you have ever done something for someone, something that genuinely cost you, something that hurt, and they never found out, they never knew, they moved on completely unaware, you know how that feels. That is the tragedy Subaru lives with every day. If you want to keep going, there's another video right on your screen. Just click it to keep watching.